Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's Wallsend history story. This week is another in the series of old high street shops, and this is actually video number 8. Just like the other videos, this will tell you what used to be there, a little information about the old shop, and then show you what's there now. Now I just want to add, this video, like the others, is more of a memory jogger than a history story due to the lack of information about a lot of the shops. But I still hope that you will enjoy it and find it interesting. The first shop I am covering this week is Shirley's Dog Salon, and this stood at 190 High Street East. And I have to admit that their advert, which I believe is from 1983, did make me smile, as the dog description was all breeds and doubtful breeds groomed. So the doubtful breeds must have been what we used to call the Heinz 57 ones. They also sold some pet food and other pet items, as I do actually remember going there to buy the big bags of cat litter from the days when I had 5 cats many years ago. The prices for the dog and cat food that they were selling were around 29 pence a tin, and depending on where you shop today, you can get tins of dog food for around 66 pence, so it's not a massive difference in price today, and cat food per tin today is around 75 pence each, so cats do cost a little bit more than dogs. However, this of course is the cheapest food that I looked at, so some tins are a lot more expensive. And of course, my cats had really expensive tastes and wouldn't eat anything cheap. In the same location today, you will find the Little Paws Dog Salon, which is pretty much the same idea as what Shirley's was. It was a dog grooming along with a few basic items of cat and dog food for sale. And prior to Little Paws, from at least 2009, it was known as Paws Dog Salon. Now, since dog grooming became a thing, which was quite a long time ago, I had only ever had cats, and I know that they would not have liked to have been washed and groomed. So I've only ever used this shop years ago to buy cat litter, like I said before. And when we did have a dog when I was a kid, you basically just gave it a bath at home and hoped that you could manage it without the dog going mad and flooding the bathroom. And our dog absolutely hated to go in the bath, but she loved to swim or roll about in any smelly water that she could find, or anything else nasty that she could find to roll in, which is just something that dogs seem to like to do. The next shop I am going to talk about is G.H. Parr's, the jeweller and watchmaker, that used to be on High Street East opposite the town hall. Now, this was a very popular shop, as whenever it's mentioned on the Wallsend Memories Facebook group, it always gets lots of comments. Now, sadly, I don't have a date for the advert that you can see on screen at the moment, but at the time, Parr said they were the oldest established watchmaker in Wallsend. But sadly, again, they didn't actually state when they had been established, so that would have been nice to have known when they actually started out. Now, just a few months ago, I happened to be passing this location, and I noticed that the shop was in the process of being done out, and the old Parr's sign was visible once again. So I quickly took a photo of it. So this is what you can see on screen at the moment. And it's not massively clear, but you can make out the name above the shop. So does anyone watching this video have any memories of buying anything at Parr's? And more interestingly, do you still have what you bought? In the same location today, you will find the Tyne Events shop. Now, I've never been in here, but I do know that it is a party supply and rental shop, and it and the people running it are very popular. So maybe one day I might have a party and test them out myself. Maybe next year when I am 21 again. The next shop I'm going to talk about is Lawson's Travel Agency, and this used to be at 14 High Street East. Now I sadly don't have a date for this advert, but as you can see they were offering up-to-date luxury coaches for all occasions. Now I never went on any trips via Lawson's, but I am sure that some of you watching this will have used them. So I would love to hear your memories of any trips you went on with them in the comments below. Today, in the same location, you will find the Kangda massage. Now I hope I've said that correctly because I'm not sure. But I must admit that I have actually been calling this the Kanga massage until I actually looked at the sign properly. Now this is another of those shops that I have never been in, so I can't really say what kind of things they offer. The next shop that I am going to talk about is Jack Kirk Cycles Limited, and this used to be at 98 High Street West. The advert, which dates back to 1961, helpfully points out that they were based opposite the Ritz. Now I know at one point Wallsend did have quite a few cycle shops, and strangely enough that I've actually said that, and I cannot remember the name of a single other one. Oh, Allsops, I think that was a bike one, there you go. Anyway, Jack Kirk's at the time in 1961 was saying that they were the best in town and that they even offered higher purchase terms. Now they don't give any clues on their advert about how much the bikes cost though, so we don't know how long you would have been paying that one off. So can anyone watching this actually remember Jack Kirk's? Today, in the same location, you will find the Ladbrokes betting shop, and this has been there since at least 2008, and no doubt a long time before that too. Now again, this is a shop that I have never been in, as the only time I ever went into a betting shop was to put the Irish lottery on, and I haven't done that now for about 20 years. The next shop I'm going to talk about is S.J. Cornelius. Now this shop had a few different locations on the high street, but the main one that I know of is the one that was on the corner of the high street and Sycamore Street. So I've gone for that location for the up-to-date picture. Cornelius in their advert said they were a high-class tailor and outfitter, and that suits to measure were a speciality. I do actually wonder sometimes if my dad had any of his suits made there, and if he did, then they have lasted well, as I think he still has a couple of them with very wide collars. I don't really know much about this shop, but I think maybe it's a bit too young to actually remember it. But does anyone listening to this remember the shop or have any memories of it? Today, in the same location, you will find the Vape With Us shop, but as Cornelius at one point used more than one shop on the same side of the street, I must add there, because I did say earlier that they had shops on different locations, but this was all on one side. The shop would have also covered Dom's Cafe and the currently empty shop next door to that. Now I haven't been in the vape shop or the cafe, but I do know that a lot of people say that Dom's Cafe is great. The last shop I am going to talk about this week is Greenwells, and this was a shop that had many locations in the area. They had two shops on the high street, one on Carville Road, one on Neptune Road, and one on Potter Street in Willington Quay. However, for the up-to-date photo, I am only going to use the one that you can see in the photo that's on screen at the moment. John Robert Greenwell was born in Wallsend in around 1854, and his father was a coal miner. So it's not really clear why John decided to go into the grocery business, but I think it was a lot better job than working down the pits. So I can't say I blame him for choosing that over following in his father's footsteps. And this advert that you can see on screen at the moment states that the business was established in 1872. so he was still quite young when he set up in business on his own, because he would have only been around 18 years old at the time. John died in around 1929 and is buried in Byker and Heaton Cemetery. Now, he does have a headstone. However, I wasn't actually aware of this until I was actually writing this section of the story. And as similar to another video that I recorded recently, it is way too cold at the moment to go and search for headstones. But the photo on screen at the moment is from Byker and Heaton Cemetery, and it was a picture that I took when I visited there a few years ago. I do have to admit that it is nice to find a little bit of personal information about some of the shop owners, but sadly it is quite rare to find much information about most of them. Today, in the same location where Greenwells used to be, or the only one of Greenwells that I have actually used, you will find that the area is covered by the Co-op Funeral Care and the Ship Hotel Public House. Now, the Ship Hotel Public House at the time when Greenwells was there probably still would have been there, but it would have been the Robin Hood, and it would have been the smaller version of the pub before it was made larger. Now, I've had to go for this location as the area where Greenwells once stood has changed a lot in the years since his shop closed down. I do hope that you have enjoyed this short little video about some more of the old shops that used to be on Wallsend High Street. As I have said with the previous videos, these often sadly only have pictures of adverts for the older photos, but I hope that it has still jogged your memory about some that you may have forgotten about, or some you have never even heard of. And I have, as you've seen from this video, used old photos whenever possible. And there's still loads more shops to cover on the high street, but some of them now are coming down to ones where they really have very little information. But I do hope to include a few more of them in some future videos. I do thank you all very much for watching, and do please share your memories of this week's shops in the comments below, as I really would love to hear them. And I do hope to see you all again very soon.